What's up, agents? Jet4th here, and here is the build that I have put together for the new specialization, the FireWall, for whenever it's going to be announced and released. The gameplay that you are watching right now in the background is solo heroic, so that you know that I am not BSing you and telling you how powerful and how tanky it is. Now, the one thing that you have to keep in mind while you're watching this is that I am not using the specialization yet, obviously, because it's not out. So this build in itself is really powerful and very tanky, but once the FireWall comes out and we can slap it on this bad boy and get it all leveled up and whatnot, this thing is going to be absolutely ridiculous when it comes to PvE. Honestly, not sure about PvP. I didn't bring it in there. With the current meta going on, it's a maybe. You know, it's a definite maybe. So I'll leave that up to you guys to test out if you want. But either way, I'm actually rather impressed on how this build turned out. I don't have some of the armor rolls that I wish that I had and whatever. I did think out the build and have been for a while, but I did kind of have to slap together with what I had because, yeah, I tried farming for some new Gila and stuff and it just wouldn't drop for me because RNG hates me. Hopefully it doesn't hate you as much as it hates me. So anyways, let's get into the build. I'm done with this intro. I will do my best to explain everything, my reasonings behind why I picked what I picked and why it ended up the way that it is. If you are a new player or don't know, I will also tell you how to get the weapons that I'm using, some of the exotics that I'm using, and all that stuff. We will go over everything, including some of the high rolls, which I already told a lot about. And finally, at the end of this video, I will let the whole first part of this encounter play out if you want to see all of it without it being edited and stuff. But anyways, enough with the chit chat. Like, comment, subscribe, and let's just get into the build, shall we? Alrighty, so let's go over these perks that are on the FireWall real quick here. We have enriched magnesium formula plus 50% burn duration. Next, we have frontline recovery plus 30% health on kill. Then we have extracellular matrix. Your armor kit recovers 200% armor and 200% health over 10 seconds. This is actually rather powerful. I'm wondering if it's going to stay like this upon release. I hope it does, because that just makes this build even more insane than it already is. And then this wonderful specialization gives us the Striker Shield. The Striker Shield is a modified version of the Crusader Shield, which allows the use of the same range of weapons, while also allowing the KB Jetstream flamethrower signature weapon to be equipped. Basically, you can't use LMGs and sniper rifles with this. You can use everything else. It also provides a buff to the user and allies behind the shield, which boosts damage based upon the amount of enemies in front of the shield. I will say, after using this shield in Heroic, how I had it set up, I was actually rather impressed how much this specific shield can tank. So if you're doing extra damage on top of what we can already do, this is going to be amazing. Next, we have a FireWall Tactical Link. Allies deal plus 10% damage to enemies that are within 10 meters of you. You see all this crazy stacking going on here? This is kind of obnoxious. No wonder why this game isn't balanced. And then we have a Fiery Response. On armor break, apply burn to enemies within 5 meters. This needs to be put at 10. 10, 10, 10, 10. Okay, Massive? Come on now. And finally, we have Bull Rush. Plus 50% bonus armor during cover-to-cover moves. Yeah, we'll be talking about this one, most definitely. Well, I suppose I should show the grenade as well, which is the Cluster Grenade. The Cluster Grenade launches mini grenades which detonate in a large area of effect. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to throw down bleed damage or anything like that, so I'm not overly interested in it, but it does seem kind of cool. I don't know. And that's it. We'll go over the attachment and the sidearm when we get to that part. Alrighty, on to weapons. For our primary, we will be using the Pyromaniac for, well, perfectly ignited fire, incendiary, yeah, stuff and things. Now, surprisingly, I do still get this question a lot. Where the hell do I get this weapon, Jet? All you gotta do is open up your map, go to the targeted loot, and farm assault rifles. Whatever area that assault rifles are in or whatever mission, farm farm that. It is just a random drop, and you can get it outside of that as well, but that is what I recommend. Now, with all that aside, I was able to get mine up to 18.3k damage. Perfectly ignited, deal 40% weapon damage to burning enemies. After 2 kills, applies burning to the next enemy you hit. I like this with that extra 50% burn duration because, yeah, awesome. Optimize, plus 15% weapon handling, and then recharged. While equipped, skills deployed at full armor have plus 25% duration, charges, and ammo. Now, as for the weapon attachments on my fine weapon, mine are just DTE and stability. The weapon attachment that comes with the FireWall is the tactical short grip, plus 10% critical hit damage. You can use it if you want, but we're running a 0% crit hit chance, so it's not going to happen that often, unfortunately. On to our secondary weapon, which we will be using, the Sweet Dreams. You can get this from outcast bosses or from targeted loot shotguns. Sweet Dreams, landing a melee attack on an enemy after swapping to this weapon grants 60% bonus armor for 5 seconds and applies the Sandman debuff for 5 seconds. Killing an enemy with the Sandman debuff reapplies the bonus armor. Now, what I did learn about this when I was using it is that if you do have your shield out and you hit them with the shield, it applies the debuff and the buff. Sandman, the debuff prevents the enemy from using armor kits and from receiving healing from any sources. Evasive, while equipped, dodging refunds 25% of your current weapon's magazine, and if drawn, dodging grants plus 20% weapon damage for 10 seconds, so meaning rolling out of the way. Or just rolling. And finally, our sidearm, which I did try to match as close as I could to the specialization sidearm. Double-barreled sawed-off. On mine, I have a preservation. Killing an enemy repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds. Headshots improves the repair. Jazz hands, plus 10% reload speed. And greased. While holstered, weapon swap speed is increased by 10%, which that's really good with the shield, because man, does it slow down. Now, for the sidearm that comes with the specialization, it has primer rounds. Damaged enemies lose 50% burn resistance for 5 seconds, which is interesting because I was noticing that certain elites and heroic and certain enemies, yeah, they are resistant to different types of effects, so this might be kind of good. We'll have to test it out once we get our hands on it. On to armor. For my mask, I'm using an Alps Summit armament. For the plus 20% skill haste, I'm also using a second piece for the plus 10% skill power. That's important to use 2 pieces of this. Attributes, plus 540 skill power. Now, I do have a lot of God rolled skill power on here, and I got it all from farming Alps Summit and Heraldi holdings. And the sad part is this isn't even the highest roll on a mask that I have. So it did not take long. Farm Alps Summit and Heraldi holdings. I guarantee you, you will get really high rolls eventually. Talents, creeping death. Status effects spread to the nearest enemy within 25 meters can occur once every 5 seconds. Now with the plus 50% burn duration and all the burn duration that I have on this build right now when it comes to my mods, it will keep spreading. It definitely will keep spreading, and I do like this, especially seeing as how this is a fire-based build. This is why they call it the creeping death. For our chest piece, we will be using an Iguana Halberg Helagard, because this rolls with 2 blue defensive mod slots and 1 yellow utility mod slot. It's actually kind of detrimental that you have this specific chest piece. With Hela, we get plus 5% total armor and plus 20% hazard protection. I do like that plus 20% hazard protection because we're going to be dive bombing enemies, and you can never be too careful. Attributes, plus 10% total armor could be way better. Plus 21,404 health. Rather have armor here, and then for my skill power, I have 1,019. But I kind of lied earlier because this was a vendor roll, sorry, but I do have other rolls that are nearing that, and if you are struggling to get skill power, you can make up a lot of ground with your mods. So trust me on that. don't worry about it. Talents, unbreakable. 70% of max armor is repaired when your armor is depleted. Armor kits used within the next 7 seconds are not consumed. Can occur once every 60 seconds. Requires 11 or more. Which, having unbreakable on this is awesome because of our perk on FireWall, Fiery Response. On armor break, apply burn to enemies within 5 meters. Come on, 10 meters massive. Let's go. Now I know people are like, perfectly unbreakable, bro. Well, if you can figure out how to make this build the way that I made it by using perfectly unbreakable and still having 11, let me know and leave me a comment. Because you'd probably have to use a second piece of Badger Tough in the holster slot, and I didn't want to do that because of the passive talent I have on there that I want. And for my mod slots on here, I am just stacking a boatload of armor and then a bunch of skill power. That's it. On the topic of holsters, we will be using a Fenris Group AB for the plus 10% assault rifle damage. Attributes, plus 21,930 health, plus 737 skill power. Talents, devastating, plus 5% weapon damage. That's pretty much it for that. Next up, we have the backpack, which is a Bighorn Heliguard backpack. Bighorn is important, again, because it drops with 1 blue mod slot and 1 yellow mod slot. Again, this gives us plus 5% total armor, and this is the second piece giving us plus 20% hazard protection. Attributes, plus 9.5% total armor, 17,782 health, and 29,283 armor. Talents, on the ropes, weapon damage is increased by 15% while all skills are on cooldown, which your skills are going to. Your shield is going to break and your incendiary turret is going to run out fast. Requires 7 or more. We are right there with all of this. Harden, plus 15% armor. And then for the mod slots, my utility, why am I using that utility mod? 103 skill power, 3%. Yeah, you can do a lot. That's where you can make up your ground, is right there. And my defensive is just a bunch of armor. Onto the gloves, which is our second piece of Alps Summit armament for the plus 20% skill haste, and this is giving us the plus 10% skill power. Attributes, plus 12% shotgun damage. This was kind of a, do I want assault or shotgun? I amped it for shotgun, obviously. I will leave that up to you to decide. Talents, compensated. Weapon damage is increased by 10% when your critical hit chance is below 20%. Now, I was originally using the motherly love gloves here with perfectly opportunistic on them, and then I got a speech from my new friend Tricks or Treats about using compensated, so he was right. That's all I have to say about that. And finally, the knee pads. We are in the home stretch, agents. Short circuit, plus 80% jammer pulse charge speed. We are not using that for this build. First wave tech. Disruption effects now destroy hostile skill proxies, and staying in cover for 4 seconds, you can gain the lead by example buff. Lead by example, gain 50% bonus armor while performing cover to cover. This, combined with the FireWall perk, is going to give us 100% bonus armor going from cover to cover. If the distance traveled is at least 8 meters, disrupt all enemies within 10 meters and gain 10% bonus armor for each blue for 4 seconds. The disrupt occurs 1 second after completing the cover to cover. Now with 11 blues, we are getting 110% bonus armor. I think it's capped, possibly, but yeah, we're getting a boatload of bonus armor. And as for my mods on here, it's just armor, and skill power. And finally, for the skills, we will obviously be using the Crusader Shield or the Striker Shield once the thing comes out. I was able to get mine to a 33.2 second cooldown. The health of it is 752,719. Active regeneration is 34,723 HP per second. Holstered regeneration, 37,636. PvP taken modifier 3. Not sure exactly what that means. It just means it doesn't do very well in there. As for the mods that I have on mine, I have plus 100.1% health, which is god rolled, believe me. Thank you, Tong, for that one. Plus 84.5 active regeneration. I really wish I could get a god roll there. Like 99% would be amazing. And then plus 97.7 health. So this definitely does tank. I mean, if you do challenge missions, yeah, you could probably sit there for days with this. Heroic, it will get destroyed fast, but honestly not as fast as you'd think it would. So I'm interested to see how this shield is going to do once the specialization is on this and unlocked, with all the extra damage that you do, your friends behind you, and plus with all the damage that we're stacking with compensated and on the ropes and all that. I mean, this is going to be a freaking devastating build. Yeah. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Anyways, enough with stroking my own ego about my build. Our cooldown on our incendiary turret is 28.8 seconds, duration 300 seconds. It does not last that long. Health 252,663, damage 2,628, range 15 meters, burn damage 19,412, burn damage 7.5 seconds, PvP damage 420, PvP burn damage 3,105. For the mods, I have plus 88% burn damage, 93.8 skill haste, and 97 skill haste. I still really don't like this thing, like, at all. I was very tempted to try and use the incendiary chem launcher, fire starter chem launcher, but I don't think it would work quite as well with this build as it would with this, switching between your shotgun, your assault rifle, and all that shenanigans because of the Sweet Dreams perks and blah, 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 you know. I maybe give it a shot. I'll probably give it a shot, but I think this is probably better off for it. Maybe with the burn duration, this thing will help. I really don't know. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the build. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. As per usual, this is just a blueprint, and I know I'm putting this out early before the specialization has even hit, but I figure at least this way you guys can, like, maybe possibly, like, have a build ready for when it hits, to something that's going to be hard-hitting, tanky, and this and that. But, yeah, I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. I personally really like it. Messing around with it today and yesterday on stream. Well, I guess on the stream it wasn't that great because everyone had, you know, really, really powerful skill builds and stuff. Let's not speak about that. But hey, I figured screw it. Let's put it out early. You guys can start getting prepared for the new specialization. Maybe you guys will have different ideas than what I had for it and this and that. So I'm always interested to know what you guys think. But what I will say, with this new Gear 2.0 coming out right in the middle of building this build, I kind of got a little tear in my eye. Just a little one, being like, man, I'm not going to be able to make builds like this anymore. The whole puzzle pieces and stuff. I love that frustration of trying to get the pieces of the puzzle together, get everything activated in the right way and getting it to work. But, you know, is what it is. I'm shutting up. Do me a favor, hit the old like button if you could, subscribe, and all that other junk, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace!
damn it!